Hi, everybody. I hope the camera is not going to do any problems, not going to give us any problems this session because we have a lot to cover. And honestly, I've been taking this time to film. So let's see what's happening around the world. And I'm excited to talk about it. All right, so I want to comment straight out of get that somebody is saying Matt Tardio is not trusted person at all. I could see a hint of that. Like I could understand where it comes from. I don't know where it comes from when it comes from you, but I did see him have like this debate with Nate. That's what I remember this guy's name it was. And he's a very interesting person. When he speaks alone, he says the truth as is, and he says what needs to be said 100. But then when he had the other person in the camera in front of him, it's like, and that person didn't answer one question that he asked him. It was like he was trying to like appease him to make it things palatable for him. And the whole time I thought like, Matt, you have to know who is in front of you. It's so dangerous when people are like willing to compromise because they cannot see who is in front of them. But still, he said truth things, right? But it wasn't as truthful. But when he stands alone, I have to say, I didn't see any American that said what needs to be said the way he did. It's like saying the truth about Giuliani, saying the truth about the American experience in the Middle East and the way they betray their allies left and right as a policy, no matter how much those allies were loyal to them. I'm talking about speaking of the Kurds for people who don't know, no matter how much the Kurds fought for America, died for America, did whatever they could, they get betrayed left and right. So it's such an and hearing someone say that, acknowledging that from the American side, right? The Middle Eastern side, like we say it all the time, like America betrays its allies all the time. Why is Jolani in the why? Because they are part of this new Saudi Arabia, Turkey, kind of like, you know, allyship that is forming, which is still Islamic awfulness, and trying to whitewash Giuliani, who is a murderer, like the and you know, and I want to show you what Erin Mulan had on her show because she had Netanyahu over, and he described exactly what it is that the Giuliani man did in Syria. And but like, listen, like, this is just, you can criticize him as much as you want. The truth is, here's what I know, okay? If when it comes to Americans, it's either people who speak truth but have no military experience and no military or ground information that is real, like the way you have when somebody serves in the army, or you lie. And finally, I found somebody who has both, who understand what terrorism looks like, understand what operation looks like, understand what the military looks like, and speaks truth. It's like, oh my God, I've never heard of that. I've never heard somebody say that, admitting that. So I appreciate your saying that, but I have to say, like, you have to grab wins when you can. There's like, there isn't, this person comes out and says, hey, whatever you think the Israelis did, we did a million times worse. Are you saying I'm a terror? Like, what are you saying? That I'm a genocider? Basically, that's what he was implying. And I was like, thank you. Those, like, can you imagine what it is to look like as somebody who understands the military stuff? Look at the Americans talk about Israel and just think that these people know exactly that whatever Israel supposedly not okay with, or like all those nitpicky people, know that the British army, like any other army in the world, did way worse, and they still find it in them to criticize Israel. They still find the ability in them, the pure-heartedness and like the righteousness to criticize what Israel is doing when Israel is, when they know exactly what it does. They have no moral compass. Liars. And then it's not about saying, well, yes, US a million times bigger and more powerful than Israel. Then that makes it million times worse that you are liars. Because if you have the might, the power, the ability, then you set the tone and you choose to be assholes when you can choose not to be. And finally, there's somebody who's literally saying that out loud properly. I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm not gonna criticize him. And clearly, he doesn't know how to handle people who look like they have. I don't want to be. I don't know if I can be sued for that. But the guy he was, I saw him debating. He had he displayed the entire spectrum of like all the requirements of being diagnosed with narcissism as far as I could see. Well, right, I'm not a professional opinion, but if he sues me, does it mean he would have to prove, by the way, that he's not a narcissist? Because I know that Macron's wife, right, she has sent her genitalia to the court to prove that she's a woman and like all this stuff. So, I mean, I don't know if she's genitalia or just DNA, but you know what I'm saying? It's like just to prove that like she's been slandered. Because I kind of wonder like if he could, like, let's say sue me for my alleged suspicion, would he have to prove that he's not? Because like I have a feeling, right? I'm not professional, but I have a feeling that this Nate guy, whoever that guy is, would fail to prove that he shouldn't have this kind of label on him, because like he, at least in that, like it's superficial, but like, you know, because of like I was like, I'm saying allegedly, but like here's the thing. Sometimes I have this like extreme confidence where I'm like, if he would have to prove that he is not, I have a feeling that he would fail proving it. It's just like that, just a feeling, you know. I'm not professional. I'm just a guess, just a guess. He's a manipulative, wouldn't answer a question, and then here's the thing. He's so disgusting. That guy that was on this podcast, he was like, the one of the things is like, oh, he was challenging Matt. He was like, oh, don't you have any criticisms against Israel? And then Matt like listed legit criticisms, which are, yeah, why is Gaza still like, why is there still a building? Well, it's not like, but it's not the criticism, it was there, but like, let me tell you that he had criticism, and I was listening and I was like, yeah, that's criticism, good for you. And then what was Nate's reaction? I was like, Matt was like, are you happy with my criticism? And as long as we criticize Israel, I'm good with that. That was his reaction. As long as as long as we're focusing on criticizing Israel, even if the criticism is on why didn't Israel like stop these people? Can you be more awful than that? It's like amazing. Pint of February's. Do you believe that Elvis faked his death to marry a Vietnamese? Can I be honest with you? I didn't even know that he had something with a Vietnamese. Why would I think that? I never knew. I don't know anything about Elvis. And can I have like the biggest confession ever? And maybe you wouldn't like me after I say it. I'm not into rock music. I don't like Beatles. I don't like rock music in general. I just don't like this genre. And it's such a weird thing to say. I don't know, something about the rock in general, which is when you take it to like the extremes, right? Whether it's like, I know some Elvis is like rock and roll, it's like, or you take it to metal, like the more like the more it's like the genre, like you go, yeah, like the classic rock is like, I it's like I hear classic rock, I want to close off the radio. I cannot even complain. Like first unsubscribed, unsubscribed. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I know. I mean, I get it. I get it. I think it's like, it's just. I know. I know. So, what music do I like? Genuinely, anything. Just not rock. It's so funny. I love music. Jazz is a bit not that palatable for me, honestly, because like I don't think I'm savvy enough for jazz music sometimes. But I generally like all genres, and not only all genres. I like my playlist is from all over the world. I like Chinese music. I like Native American music. I like Korean. Okay, Korean. I like Russian. Like well, whatever. Like Persian music. I have Persian music. I like African music. Uh, that I have I listen to, but like not rock. I don't know. Just I don't like rock. So I like all of them, but not. Oh, country. Somebody is asking if I like country music. Okay, so country music is pretty rare here, so I don't even have an opinion on country music. So I guess that's just I don't know. Just I guess I don't know country music. Eh, Maybe it's not that I rock is like absolute no, but like usually if I hear rock, I don't want to hear it. Honestly. And I think it just out of line. It's not that I always want to hear whatever genre. Just rock is like consistently, I don't feel like it. Sorry. I know. I don't always say things that I genuinely feel that I'm not okay with, but um all right, let me show you. Let's start. Do you guys want to start with Netanyahu, or do you guys want to start about whatever is happening in the Middle East? Let's start with Netanyahu. I want to start with Netanyahu. Let's see. I feel like it. Yeah, rock is such a vast genre of raps. I know, but the more it is, the closer it is to like classical rock, the less I like it. That's like if you take it far enough, yeah, sure. All right, okay, whatever. You like church music. Oh my God, church music. Oh, I have a very funny memory that has to do with church music, not gonna lie. Um, which is hilarious. All right. Mm, what about punk rock? Honestly, I'm not that. I'm not sure. Um, oh, you know what kind of music I got tired of? Salsa music because my sister hears it all the time in the car. So I'm like, not again, not that music again. Like classical salsa music, like Cuba from the 60s. Like, no. All right. Talk baby, or we need to get into K-pop. I'm not a big K-pop. I know Blackpink, and that's it. No, that's slander. I would sue you. Like I can sue you now. Like, what do you mean I'm not a fan of music? I love music, sir. Love it. Honest. Okay, let's. All right. Hmm. Are you guys are talking? Sorry, I'm a bit slow. All right, let's see Erin. By the way, Erin Mulan, she's so cute. She's a sweet person. She's a sweet, sweet person. It's like a lot of times when you meet, by the way, don't admire any of us. Really, seriously, like one of the reasons we people are on the internet, like so influencers, is because we'd rather talk to a camera than a person. Not all of us, but a lot of us. I mean, it's not always 100% true, right? But it's like you'd be surprised, but it's mostly introverts that do this kind of line. So they get easily tired from interactions. And I'm telling you, like, as much as you love us, like we can be like a lot of us are a little bit antisocial. But it could be also like it's just too much when random people approach you. But Like I'm giving excuses. I know what you just antisocial, most of them. Just like, yeah. Israel must stop all aid and become self-sufficient in mutations. It toxic to Israel. It is toxic to Israel standing and feels the perception of Israel as vassal state. 100%, 100, and I'm gonna go into that a little bit deeper soon. Anyway, Aaron is a sweetheart in real life, which is rare. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Prime Minister, welcome to the Aaron Molan Show. Thank you so very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
No, it's good to be with you, Aaron.
You were a few moments late, clearly running a country, so you're forgiven, but I'm glad you were because this headline just dropped and I want to start the interview by asking for your reaction to it. It's on the Axios news site and it says, Scoop, Israel seeks 20-year military aid deal with US with America first tweaks. Is that correct?
Why is there?
I don't know what they're talking about. My direction is the
Axios leaks. Okay, from what I know, when something is leaked to Axios, it's usually JD Vance or JD Vance people. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true. That's the rumor, that it's JD Vance trying to leak stuff. It's a very confused person. Seriously, I don't understand. How can you claim that Nick went, like, what's wrong with the Americans? Like, I know it's conservatism. I guess conservatism is a weird name because you can say, like, you can be socialist and conservative. I don't know. I don't know. I think conservatism should mean sticking to the spirit of the founders, and everyone that diverts from that should be kicked out. So, like, seriously, like why do people keep calling them right-wing influencers, like Tucker Carlson, if he says that, like, what's his name, the Venezuelan president is not that, is like what's wrong? Like, how are they right-wing? Anyway, whatever.
Running a country, so you're forgiven, but I'm glad you were because this headline just dropped and I want to start the interview by asking for your reaction to it. It's on the Axios news site and it says, Scoop, Israel seeks 20-year military aid deal with US with America first tweaks. Is that correct?
I don't know what they're talking about. My direction is the exact opposite. When I first became prime minister in 1996, I went to the U.S. Congress and we were receiving financial aid and military aid. And I said,
so I want you to notice, I want to go back a little bit and notice the phrasing. If I got it correctly, she just said they want to have like a military aid plan with America first tweaks, right? So this is my theory, all right? Whoever leaked it, whoever, obviously I have no idea, but rumor has it. And first, I do want to say that 100%. If Stalin is your hero, you're not right wing. Thank you. I don't know how can you even fall to that trap? Like, anyway, that's when you know that people like lost it. Anyway, look. So she said, okay, let me hear that again.
Running a country, so you're forgiven, but I'm glad you were because this headline just dropped and I want to start the interview by asking for your reaction to it. It's on the Axios news site and it says, Scoop, Israel seeks 20-year military aid deal with US with America first tweaks. Is that...
Well, first of all, it's like, why would Israel seek America first tweaks? What does it even mean? And it says that like 20 million, whatever, like 20-year, right? 20-year deal with them. So first of all, like it doesn't make sense that Israel would to say like, well, who comes to a negotiation like that? It's like, oh, here, let's do the military aid deal with America first tweaks. It's like Israel suggested America first tweaks. That's what you're saying. Israel is like, oh yeah, let's like, oh, but okay, whatever. So it's like, first of all, like, this is where I was like, It's weird. You know, it's like, are you sure it's America that suggested that? Because I have a feeling that it is America that suggested this 20 whatever year, I think she said.
Year military aid deal with
20 year,
US
right?
with America.
Military deal, like with America, like it's weird. It's weird. But here's the thing: it's like people lost it completely when it comes to the American speech, where they don't think that Israel, like as a country, is supposed to care about Israel first. So to them, it's like every time Israel cares about Israel, it's as if Israel does something that is not okay. Such a weird mindset, because otherwise, if you don't have that kind of degeneracy, like mind, like I don't know what's like their mind like slipping out of their ears, they would be like, you know what, something is weird here. Why would Israel seek for an American first tweaks? Like, why would Israel know what's an America first tweaks? Isn't America the one supposed to know what's America first? Whatever. And here's well, you're gonna hear Bibi's response, but here's I'm gonna say what I think about this this leak and what it's supposed to maybe achieve, maybe the agenda of the person who had suggested that.
First tweaks, is that correct?
I don't know what they're talking about. My direction is the exact opposite. You know, when I first became prime minister in 1996, I went to the US Congress and we were receiving financial aid and military aid. And I said, the first thing is, you know, we're going to build a high-tech, free market capitalist economy. We don't need the financial aid, phase it out. And everybody gasped, how dare he, you know, this young prime minister, eager for a PR title, he's giving up billions of dollars. And I was happy to do it, and I was right to do it. So we got rid of that. Now I want to make our arms industry independent, totally as independent as possible. So my direction is the exact opposite. I don't know who's talking for Israel. I do. So follow what I say, not what is put forward in some leaks that are not true.
So here's the thing. So this needs to be put on the table. Why it's America's interest to have this aid? America. Why was it like? Why was Americans gasping at the thought that Israel would be more independent, even if it's just like on the civil stage, right? And then why is it America? Like, why is it gasping, right? So behind the scenes, the truth is like there is a lot of pressure from the American administration to give this aid to Israel. Why? What does it mean that Israel purchases weapons in the United States? What does it mean that that Israel has to spend its money on the United States? It means that it makes it dependent on American manufacturing. Something about it like that, right? I'm gonna give you an ice cream machine that can only work with the milk I produce. All right. So on paper, right, what I tell to the world is, listen, I gave them a coupon and they must buy my ice cream machine. And it's like, this is the aid, right? Because I gave them the ice cream machine. But then for the rest of the ice cream machine lifespan, they are dependent on the milk I produce. What does it mean? It means that it's first of all, you profit from it. And then they have leverage on Israel because they're like, we're not going to give you the milk. Every time Israel does something to defend itself, America is willing to sacrifice a couple of thousand of Israelis if it needs to, without blinking, without shedding a tear. When it was throwing the Kurds to the trenches without even thinking of it at all. It's more that something that they are willing to do without a thought in their mind of how evil or dangerous or vicious that is. So if Israelis have to live a shitty life, if missiles if they need to tolerate missiles being sent and thrown to them from Iran, they would have to tolerate it, because they need even if they purchased with cash, Israeli cash, no aid, American missiles or something that is manufactured in America, they can do what Biden did: halt all shipments. Basically, behind the scenes, it was a complete embargo on everything. Everything. Israel was running out of every ammunition you can think of, even guns, even bullets, the most basic stuff. Right? Because America could do it, and not all America needs is for Israel to exist, because it's useful to them, because it's like it's hovering around the Middle East, right? It puts it in check. But they don't care if Israeli life is jeopardized. They don't care if Israelis die. They don't care of our life quality. They don't care about Israelis. They want Israel, but not Israelis. They don't care about the people, right? They just need Israel. They need Israel, but not Israelis, right? So it's always been like that. They realized at some point they begged, right? The speech that the Kennedy gave. Until then, Israel was under embargo when it comes to U.S. Weaponry. Israel was under embargo, but in '63, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a bit, I think '63, maybe a bit earlier. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, in this Kennedy, before he became president. So he was like, after I think it was before. Anyway, he was like, after considering the situation, after everything that happened with the Suez Canal, which, by the way, Eisenhower, I think, also there was also a plan to, you know what, like, why do we need to like deal with the Egyptians? How about we nuke a Suez Canal through Israel? That was an option. It was like, you know, because they're willing to, they don't care how much land we have. They don't care that Israel is a tiny country. They didn't care that, and that is before the '67 war. So it was tiny slither of land with millions of refugees. Did they care about like using, like, thinking that nuking a new Suez Canal through Israel because it's more convenient for them? Like, was it like not an option? It was an option. It was an option. Anyway, then there is like, okay, is it feasible? Is it not? You know, technicalities. Maybe, I bet, like after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, like using nukes to build a canal, it didn't look good on paper. So they were like, maybe it's bad for PR. I don't know. As like something that even like the Ben Gurion considered, right? Because it's like the Israelis were desperate to try to survive in this environment. And it's like, whatever, you know, then nobody cares. And then they forced Israel to give up the Sinai Peninsula. This was like a gun to our heads the whole time. The Israelis remember, like, you know, like before, like that time, it was a time that the Americans didn't hold. The Americans were like, okay, the official American stance was, okay, the Arabs will kill them all. And then it's like they kept surviving. They kept surviving. So they were like, okay, fine. Do as we say. And that's the relationship between Israel and America ever since. And it is the relationship of America with whomever. So that's the situation, right? They don't care what kind of density we live in. They don't care of our life quality. They don't care about anything. They don't care how many of us would die. That's not a consideration. The consideration is Israel needs to hover over the Middle East and keep things in check, because if the Middle East will like, you know, where it's going with Iran, it's like dropping, basically, like, you know, drying out. It's like these people are all going to become refugees. Like the final conclusion is that it's going to be a worldwide catastrophe. So it's so convenient that Israel exists. So they need Israel. But what they don't care about is the Israelis, and they dislike Jews. They hate Jews. And ironically enough, until Trump, the best president for Israel ever was an anti-Semite. Because why was he the best when it comes to Israelis? I don't know why his name slipped. Like, you know, he's yeah, the Watergate guy. No, why did I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Anyway, he was I forgot his name. Come on. You know what I'm talking about. Nixon. Thank you, guys. Not Reagan. Nixon. Nixon was a proud anti-Semite, but he was a practical man. And listen closely, because he was a practical man, because he was so based on, okay, whatever, like we have to be like realistic. Until Trump, he was the best president for Israel. Yeah, a person that was unashamed, like he didn't like Jews, and he didn't have any problem saying that. Wonder Freeman, Rebecca, you're in a strange mood today, talking some nonsense. Oh, I thought it was nonsense too until I deep dived and checked, and I'm not the only one who's saying that. I'm not the only one who's saying that. I know, but I'm not the only one. Anyway, long story short, America needs Israel. Europe needs Israel, but at the same time, they kind of hate Jews. So you get this amazing solution of extortion. It's like they're giving this aid, telling the world, oh, we're aiding Israel, and then cooperating with all the anti-Semitic slurs without blinking. Oh yeah, we need to be America first, not Israel first. You need it, you want it, because it's America first to give aid so that Israel would be dependent on your weapon supply, and it doesn't matter how many Israelis would die here. It's up to your, like, you know, it's like there Julani now. How many Druze did they kill? How many Christians? How many Alawites? Do their lives matter? No, they don't. They don't. They don't matter. And yet the Americans they dare to go around and say something. Are you America first? They're not America first. They're power hungry, resentful, bitter little men that somehow managed to climb the ladder. That's what they are.
So, Prime Minister, you think it's time to cut military aid entirely from the US?
I think it's time to assure that Israel is independent. Understand that our military aid is like a fraction, a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of what the U.S. spent in Afghanistan or spent in, in the Middle East. It's tiny, but I think that we have a very strong economy. We have a very strong arms industry, and it's true that even though we get what we get, which we appreciate, 80% of that is spent in the United States. So it produces jobs in the United States. But nevertheless, I'd like to see.
By the way, like the Israelis listen and we know what it is. I know what it is. Every time you criticize America, every time I criticize America, I lose subscribers. Americans cannot listen, cannot hear criticism. They lose it. To them, they're the greatest country on earth. They're the gods, and everybody should be thankful for them. They don't see how they trample people. Because here's the American logic. The American logic is we could execute the entire humanity that is other than Americans. That's what they're the underneath it all. That's the kind of mindset, right? We're the strongest. We're the mightiest. We can, as long as we don't execute all of you actively, you should be thankful for us. And it's just like gods, where you need to be willing to sacrifice your children, your people, to us, because we are the gods. That's America.
a much more independent Israeli and even more independent Israeli defense industry. And remember that Israel doesn't ask others to fight for us. Israel is the one American ally in the world that says,
not all Americans are like that. I know. They're about like a couple of thousand. Like how many? All my viewers here, I lost a lot of American viewers, I know, because I dared to say something about some kind of policy. It's like amazing to see like how easily they, like most Americans, drop at even if they don't even hear a criticism, they hint of a criticism, because that's the mindset, because they're gods. America is God. And God, if it's like, if you're alive, you should say thank you, because America could make every country disappear. And all those people who go around America first, their rhetoric is not rhetoric of we should cut off aid from Israel, or we should like untangle ourselves. No, their actual rhetoric is we should make Israel disappear because we can. America first. And it's like, it's such a clear thing of like, we can make Israel an example to the entire world of what happens if to a country that dares to speak when America comes and says something.
we don't need boots on the ground. We don't need American servicemen fighting, on the ground for Israel or around Israel. We're fine.
I think so. Most Americans are good people. Here's the thing. You need to hear the truth. You need to hear the truth about America. Americans have to understand what is happening. They have to understand. There is no place where you can really hear the truth almost about about America. Here's what you hear. You either hear those who want to destroy America, and then it's like, oh, America is a colonial project. And then you have those people. And then you have those who are like, America is the greatest, the mightiest, the beautiful, the most beautiful. But there isn't a healthy dose of, you're being assholes. It's repent. We want to work with you. You're better than China, 100%. But if you don't repent, you're gonna lose America. This is the thing. It's like, honest, do you like this all America colonialism? It's based on a grain of truth that even American allies know, right? It taps into like this unspoken understanding that even an Israeli and Palestinians can look at each other in the eye and be like, we hate each other with like passion, but like we both feel, we all feel that. The difference is that an Israeli would want to see America thrive and succeed and continue being the mighty, because first of all, they understand that it's like they're assholes, but they are not the worst. But they are walking towards being. Listen, if communism takes over America, right? Well, why would you go to and deal with the new communists if you have people like if you have China, which had been communist for like decades now? They have so much more experience. They can do communism way better than America could. So what makes America more attractive than China? So people had tolerated behind the scenes the fact that America had been behaving more and more like China. But if it goes full blown, that there is nothing that would make, like, it was like, okay, do we choose the China that doesn't know what it's doing yet because it's a new China, or the China that had been China for decades now? It's for your betterment that you need to hear the truth. You're not going down because of nothing. You're not going down because you've been great. You're falling apart because you've been assholes and you wouldn't listen. So it's like, Nobody wants to cooperate with China. China sucks. But like Israel, like shifting its. Do you know how much of the technological knowledge there is in Israel? You know how fiercely and how devastating it would be. Like, why is all the focus shifting to Taiwan? Because if Taiwan falls to China, America is basically, it's like they're gonna lose everything that the Taiwanese produce, and it's a real threat for America. Well, it's gonna be the same if the Chinese gain Israel. Just as scary. But like Israel, like, you know, it's like you can eat shit because it's better than China. The bottom line, you are so passionate about the US because you need us. A lot of people do. Am I passionate about the US because I need you? No, I'm not passionate about the US because I need the US. I'm passionate about the US because the US is something that gave hope that humanity could choose a good model for governing. That's why. Because of the idea of what the US is, not because of the US itself. It's not the US I'm passionate about, or that the fact that we need it. It's the fact that it had a great idea of governing and it ran. It was such a beautiful experiment. It has nothing to do with need in America. It has everything to do with humanity. Ideally, I want Russia to adopt the same mindset that that the founders had. I want China to adopt the same mindset that the founders had. Yes, it would make America less attractive, maybe, but it would be like amazing for humanity. You know? So it's not like well, our $136 trillion is needed too, but that's another. It's not actually. So here's the deal the Americans have with the world. America is protecting trade routes, and in return, you have that money. But the resources, the hard work, most of it is not an American thing. So it's more like it's a protection, right? It's not dependence in whatever America produces. Like, yes, there is dependence. Like, I mean, sure, countries, a lot of, like, America does a lot, but that could be that loss could be compensated. It's the protection and the orderliness that people are looking for. It's like people trust America. Harvey, do you know what it means that your country goes down? It means that your assets, they're not yours anymore. That's it. That's the thing. That's also Americans think. Americans think that just because something belongs to them on paper, that it belongs to them. It's like I said, like America thinks that Qatar belongs to Qatar. Nobody else in the world would think Qatar should exist, right? It's like, no, the Qataris shouldn't have money at all. You just take away you execute the royal family. There are like 3 people that live there. It's yours. What do you mean assets? What assets? You're going to lose everything. You don't understand that? You're going to lose everything unless you fix yourself up. Everything. The cartels. What do you think? There is an army. The south of Mexico, on your south, Mexico. It's an army. It's an army waiting to feast on your stuff that you think you own. You don't own anything. It's like like here's you don't own anything. You will lose everything. But this is just reality. Like the US is important for many reasons, but our wealth is needed because you don't have, you don't generate anything organically. This is what you understand. Did you see the H1 visas speech that Trump, interview that he said recently? where Trump said that you need people to come to America to produce things because Americans won't do. You don't understand how much your education system is degraded, like how much Americans are not what they used to be. No, they don't generate anything. It's foreigners that do. He's not lying. I know he's not lying. You know how I know? Because you know who is the top, like, you know, I have a very close friend that is now working behind the scenes with Elon Musk and Jared Kushner, and he's an Israeli Arab, and he went to like do a PhD in Berkeley, but like he was accepted to all the prestigious elite American universities, computer science, physics. He said, when I asked him how it was, he said, I walked through all the departments. In every single elite university at the top, very top, you had half Jews, half Israelis. On all the most tech savvy, heavy research, it was foreigners and Jews. There are no Americans there. It's foreigners and Jews. Your education system is failing. Americans are stupid. Americans are stupid.
We fight our own battles, but in doing so, we also serve important American interests, like preventing countries that chant death to America from having nuclear bombs to throw at America, and so on. So my direction is independence. My direction is not greater dependence. My direction is greater independence. And I'll probably have something to say about that very soon.
What's a realistic timeline for that?
Oh, I think we're already we're already going there. In fact, this afternoon I'm having a very important meeting exactly on this subject. How do we plan for the next 5 years and the next decade in making sure that Israel is as fully independent as possible? So that's the direction. It's I don't know where the Axios leaks come from, but it certainly didn't come from me.
Prime Minister, President Trump put in an official request to your president for a pardon with your corruption trial that's been going on for a fair while now. What is your reaction to that, and would you accept a pardon if it were to be offered to you?
Well, look, I'll think about it, but
about this part, honestly. Okay, let me see if there was another thing that I thought. What's the next chapter?
Starts with the Jews, and then it goes to the blacks, and
When saying, Rebecca, we have millions of autistic white kids going to RPI, developing nanotechnology decades ahead of everyone. I've seen it. Yeah, but no. Like here's the thing. It's not. Here's the thing when you have, when you are losing. All right. I've seen the tech Amazon has 100. But here's the thing, right? So the tech people, the thousands that you've seen, that's not as high as those who are at the top of the research, all right? So research comes first. That's the first place you're gonna see it. Then it's gonna seep in all the way through. Okay. And I'm telling you, don't take, like, this is the thing with Americans, right? You wanna see what you wanna see. But I'm telling you, if the education goes down, and it does, and the more people go through the education system, all Americans developed in America. Yeah, no. Check the data. Check reality. Like, I don't think you understand. I'm sorry. I wish it to be true, but you don't. But like, here's the thing. Like, it's coupled. Those things come together. They come together. The zombie generation will not be able to produce the same kind of scientists either. It's coupled. Those things are coupled. Yeah, it's bad, but it's not that bad. It's gonna get worse if you don't fix it. Here's the thing, it's getting worse. It's worse and worse and worse. And the rest of the world, here's the thing, like, it's gonna get worse. That's the thing. It's gonna get worse. The zombie generation is global, honestly. The zombie generation, it is global, 100%. But there is a difference. Let me explain, okay? So people who saw where their thinking leads them to, people who, who are who in America, who are the most against communism? That's right, Latin Americans, because they experienced it. Americans didn't experience their idiocracy yet. So they don't understand. They didn't get burned. And that's the difference. You see, like America would at some point, you're right, Americans right now, that's what's make it still better, right? The fact that it's still better, it's still better. But at some point it's gonna even out, and then it's gonna be worse. Because the people that are evened out here had been at the worst. And they know that, okay, we don't want to go back there. So they're going to stay here. Okay. And besides, you want to be like, in the end of the day, when it comes to numbers, right? There are a lot more Indians than there are Americans. There are more Chinese than there are Americans. So if you need the excellence, because it's a huge country, yes, but it's still not more people. Juan, thank you for your support. Thank you. Thank you. And it doesn't come out of saying that I'm saying like America, like it got there because of merit. It got there because it did something right, but it's losing it. And you can here, thank you. This is the important part. You have an issue. I agree with you. We still have genius, but can you not see it blinds you? Can you not see that it's like this person that I talked about, speak the truth, and I said, like, finally an American saying the truth about this, the way that America betrays its allies left and right without even like thinking of it. He exists, but is it mainstream media? No. Is it mainstream at all? No. Does the average American know that? Those who do, they don't have the moral courage to face it. Yes, you still have smart people, but you need to be the best. Don't you want to be the best? Wasn't that America? Do you want to lose what America is? I was like, well, I mean, that's what I said. Like, it's still better than China. I said it from the get-go, still better than China. But that's not something to be proud of. China literally like cuts people bellies out just to get their organs and sell it. It's like you eat plain rice for breakfast and you think, well, it's better than trash. But you could eat something good, like protein. It's better. I mean, rice is great. I don't know why I said rice, but Harbinger, I have to push back on some finer points. Makes for good media, but I agree with the overall. Here's the thing: you lose yourself for good media. The good media thing is dangerous. Good media is when people try to argue on things just for the sake of arguing. If you argue on that, yes, I can agree with you. But would it make you take action and improve? Or would it be like, there are still geniuses and there's nothing to worry about? Is that where you want to be at? Is that where you want to be at? It's like, we're still better allies than the Chinese. So, nothing to see here. Is that where you want to be at? Because it's getting worse. And you need to you always have to do like course correction. It's like something that needs to be constant. It needs to be happening all the time. If you don't do that, you're gonna follow the horse, you know, always fix like back, because it's a fine line. If you know, at some point you're not gonna get back to where you were. So that's what I'm saying. Thank you for your support. And thank you, Pinterest, for a super sticker. Thank you. Gonna need to go check what it is, what the sticker is. I wish I could see it just in this program. I don't know what doesn't work. Okay, let's continue. Like, media likes simple stuff. Media likes drama when there is no drama. Media likes only asking the questions that would make people listen to them. So it's very comfortable to stay under the impression that Israel, for example, no matter how much you bash it, cannot retaliate. Do you understand that I hear more and more Israelis that don't like the Americans anymore? Do you understand what you're causing? Do you understand that people here, like when they see an American soldier and they saw American soldiers here, do you know what the Israeli reaction was? It was, we don't want them here. We don't, like, it makes us sick to look at American soldiers. This is what is the Israelis' reaction was. And it was left and right. It was all across the spectrum. Looking at the American soldier on Israeli ground made Israelis sick. So Americans like talk between themselves. They make fun of those brown Indians, the poop throwers. They make fun of women. They make fun of Jews. They make they minimize Israel. They make it like a little like insignificant country when they talk about it with complete disrespect. Always speaking of what Americans would want to feel like, right? That it doesn't matter what they do. Israel would have to provide everything that it provides to America, no matter how America treats it. Like, it doesn't matter how much a neo-Nazi is on the neo-Nazis and Islamists are on the rise in America. Israel would continue giving intelligence. It doesn't matter how much the American politicians are talking about America first and that military aid should not be cut. It's like obvious that Israel wouldn't go ahead and sell all the American technological secrets to China. It's like obvious that it's not going to happen. It's like obvious that Israelis are just supposed to be like hearing all those things and still looking at Americans with love. Because it's the comfortable, it's like it's where it, because it, here's the thing, they think they have a conversation, they think they have a debate, but what it really is striking their egos from both directions, from those who are virtuous and pragmatic Israel lovers, and from those who are Israel bashers. In the end of the day, both sides behave as if Israel is not something that could, you know what, you might nuke, it might be going to the direction where Americans would vote for, eliminating Israel. Did you ever consider what that if you get to this area, that the Israelis might want to take as many of Americans as they could with them? Did you ever like Americans proudly like Israel shouldn't exist? Do they never consider that this is like in the end of the day, this is America, this is a country with nukes? This is a country that there are a lot of religious people who believe that if it doesn't exist, then Jesus wouldn't come back. Do you guys understand what you are doing? Because it's uncomfortable thinking about what would happen if Israelis hear us speaking of Israel that way, and then they would be like thinking that America is gonna nuke them, and it's just as dangerous as Iran is. What if Israelis would be like, if we're going down, we're gonna take the world with us? The people that you claim control the world. It's like, and they're thinking they're like, and that's the fun part, right? Those who are like pro-Israel, they're thinking that they are defending Israel. That's like they come from like, oh, it's the righteous thing to do. Sweethearts, if you really want to have a debate that is real, from that perspective, can you also talk about what happens if Israel thinks that you're gonna nuke it? Is that not an option? Are Israelis too stupid to not understand that what Nazis are? Do they not know what communists are? Idiots.
And it goes to the gays, and then it goes to the Hispanics and so on. And you just collapse societies. So if that's the future of New York, I think New York has a very dim future, and usually people shake out of it. But what I found in reforming the Israeli economy is that it's very hard to do. It's very, very hard to do. We did it, and we did it with amazing success, and Israel is now one of the greatest. I think our stock market is growing faster than any other stock market in the world. After 2 years of war, and that's because of the sound structure of free market competition, and not impossible handouts that create deficits that then collapse everything on your back. You know, if you sit at home and
Yeah, you hear that?
just
This is
take,
America giving.
it's not
Listen,
you.
Netanyahu is a smart man. Can you imagine what kind of a genius is needed to run a country that is Israel and make it successful in the most hostile, dangerous area, arid in the world? Do you know what kind of people? Do you know why there wasn't a country or any kind of anything between the expulsion of Jews to the return of Jews in this land? Because this land requires a very particular kind of people, because it's the difficult area in the world to live at. It's a difficult area. You need to be a genius to survive in this area. This is what people don't understand. It's evolution. Yes, you die here if you're an idiot. People in Israel, if you're an idiot, you die the next day. That's evolution on steroids to create geniuses. So listen,
always
here
collapses
now,
societies, because it starts with the Jews, and then it goes to the blacks, and then it goes to the quality went down because people joined the job market. So everybody's income rose, and the disparity between the rich and the poor actually declined sharply.
Let's talk about
Can travel wherever they like. Are you afraid now of going to New York City? Will you not go because of that fear, even though really he's got no means to back that up?
The answer is no, I'm not afraid. And the answer is what do you want me to say about Mamdani? I mean, what about him? Ask me. You want me?
Exactly. Like, what do the like Bibi? Do you want Bibi to say what I'm saying? No, like here's the thing. You have to believe that America will get better. You have to, but at the same time to prepare for the worst.
To give you opinions about him, I can tell you that I reformed the Israeli economy. It wasn't quite socialist, but it was semi-socialist, and it was hitting rock bottom. So I introduced something called free markets, or as it's commonly known, capitalism. And everything soared up. Israel became a global high-tech power. Tel Aviv now is the skyline changed. We had one skyscraper 20 years ago. Now we have a forest of them. And you know what? Inequality went down because people joined the job market. So everybody's income rose, and the disparity between the rich and the poor actually declined sharply. So socialism doesn't work. It's a good line that brings you right deep into into a hole, and it's very hard to dig out from under. I think that's one problem for the people of New York, the residents of New York. The other one is that anti-Semitism usually collapses societies. it's not usually, always collapses societies, because it starts with the Jews, and then it goes to the blacks, and then it goes to the gays, and then it goes to the Hispanics, and so on. And you just collapse societies. So if that's the future of New York, I think New York has a very dim future, and usually people shake out of it. But what I found in reforming the Israeli economy is that it's very hard to do. It's very, very hard to do. We did it, and we did it with amazing success, and Israel is now one of the greatest. I think our stock market is growing faster than any other stock market in the world after 2 years of war. And that's because of the sound structure of free market competition, and not impossible handouts that create deficits that then collapse everything on your back. You know, if you sit at home and you just take debt, you reach a position called bankruptcy. And that's where New York might be headed. So I think that I wish a better future for the people of New York. But you ask me, am I afraid of going there? Hell no, of course not.
Are you open to dialogue with him if he were to reach out and want a conversation with you?
Well, listen, I have a lot of dialogues that I'm engaged in right now. I mean, a lot. Okay, and I think this one, I think he should get his act together before he makes these statements. It's good to be a young leader, but it's not good to be a young, uneducated leader, in the sense of not knowing economics, not knowing what anti-Semitism is, not knowing who the bad guys are. But I think you should brush up on that. Then we might have a conversation.
I'd love your reaction to the new Syrian president who's just been in America. And again, fully understand that dialogue is required even with people you may disagree with or
Now listen closely. I'm sorry. I probably made some noise. I went to get a snack. But I'm going to mute my mic now. But because listen closely, because this part here.
With people who were once terrorists. But how does it feel to watch him playing basketball with US military leaders? Does that sit comfortably with you? Do you have any take on that?
I think the issue is not how he plays basketball on a basketball court, but what he does on the ground. And by the way, I personally prefer football, or soccer as they call it in America. But that's not the game I'm interested in. The game I'm interested in is what happens on the ground. Does Syria become a peaceful country? Does he weed out the jihadists in his own military? Does he work forward with me to achieve a demilitarized zone in southwest Syria that abuts the Golan Heights? What do we do to secure our Druze brothers? The Syrian Druze brothers of Israel were mutilated, massacred, almost as bad as in the October 7th massacre that was conducted by Hamas in Gaza. I mean, you can actually see a film of these jihadists tear the heart out of a Druze man while he's alive, and eating it. I mean, this is horrible, horrific. So I'm
in the middle of lunch, but did you hear that? It's true though. It's a real video, but I didn't expect Netanyahu to bring up that video. So listen again, hear it again. If you missed out, okay, if you missed out, and imagine you didn't see me. Oh no, something wrong. Okay.
Basketball court, but what he does on the ground. And by the way, I personally prefer football, or soccer as they call it in America. But that's not the game I'm interested in. The game I'm interested in is what happens on the ground. Does Syria become a peaceful country? Does he weed out the jihadists in his own military? Does he work forward with me to achieve a demilitarized zone in southwest Syria that abuts the Golan Heights? What do we do to secure our Druze brothers? The Syrian Druze brothers of Israel were mutilated, massacred, almost as bad as in the October 7th massacre that was conducted by Hamas in Gaza. I mean, you can actually see a film of these jihadists tear the heart out of a Druze man while he's alive, and eating it. I mean, This is horrible, horrific. So I acted to protect our Druze brethren, and I want an arrangement that both demilitarizes southwest Syria and offers permanent protection for the Druze minority in Syria. If we have that, we can move on. I'm going to.
Did you hear it? It's true. It's a real story. They're crazy. Yeah. I hope you heard it. I played it twice just so I wouldn't miss it out. Did you enjoy that segment? Do you understand now? It's like, and then it's like, would the Americans be like, oh, you know, the whole world is like, oh, trying to pretend it's like humans we're dealing with and not beasts. Like, yeah, let's oh my God, why is the evil Israelis and Jews trying to fight people who eat a heart while the person is still alive? Wonder why we do that. Liars, you know, that's what I think. Okay, let's I
Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome.
And I wanna show a little bit of him here. Think just randomly, random points, because I like how it's like, but he does lose his edge when another somebody is in the well, from what I've seen. So eating the heart while the person is still alive, right? Beating still, like, is something we know on our continent. In Central America, there are chacmol in which a heart was cut out of the living person's. Oh, cool. So it's like a thing. It's like you listen. You know what Central America is? That's your southern border, America. Do you think those savages are not looking forward to seeing America crumble and then come eat your hearts? Oh, they are waiting. They're waiting. What's up with my whatever? Oh, it's muted.
Thing was signing a normalization agreement with Israel, also known as the Abraham Accords. The United States requested the Giuliani regime to join the Abraham states in full normalization with Israel. That includes opening up embassies. That includes, capitals. That includes visiting and all of that other crap that goes in it. And by the way, border disputes. Now, Giuliani doesn't exactly like the fact that Israel is in charge of the Golan Heights. It's said that he ends up reigning from that region. I'm going to disagree with that. Other thing that he has is expulsion of foreign fighters from Syria. The U.S. demanded that all foreign fighters, without exception, be expelled and handed over to their home governments. Now, that's a very interesting one within itself, because the reason Giuliani and HTS did not join ISIS, according to Giuliani himself, is he didn't like foreign fighters. The only problem is that we know he's actually got members of the Taliban and stuff like that at very high levels that work for him. So that's also kind of crazy. But that's why Giuliani said, and what they refused to bring up is the fact that his father wrote a book, and in his father's book claimed that Giuliani's family has, a tie to the Prophet Muhammad's bloodline. And it wasn't that Giuliani was against ISIS. It was that Giuliani wanted ISIS or the caliphate to be Syrian-centric and not.
By the way, the Syrians, like, if he steps out of like the most radical line, they're waiting. They're waiting for Giuliani to step out of the most radical line you can think of to execute him. He's on the chopping block right now in the side of Syria. Just so you know, probably gonna get his heart eaten soon. It's like, check who your friends are, Those are not good friends to have.
to be focusing on the outside world. Picture America first, but Syrian first ISIS, right? Like that was his big deal. So with ISIS being kicked out of the country, with them turning over foreign fighters, that opens up the door for Giuliani to declare his own caliphate. Deportation of Palestinian quote-unquote terrorists. Trump's wording, as quoted by the source, was to deport and hand over the Palestinian terrorists, referring to certain Palestinian groups and other figures residing in Syria since Assad's era, which both Washington and Israel classify as terrorist organizations. Intelligence cooperation. We're going to ask Syria for intelligence. We're going to ask Giuliani for intelligence.
You guys, go watch this live stream, because what he's saying now is going to be super interesting about how gullible America is when it comes to intelligence. I mean, maybe I'll watch a little bit, but I'm going to wrap up soon anyway. So go check it out. It's the live from today. It says a lot of important things there. I just wanted to say, I just saw in the comments people are saying that that this is something that people don't do anymore. The hard eating, it's something ancient that they used to do. Well, the cartels, when I remember when I was in the favela in Brazil, like, or like in different places, like they do shit like that. Okay, maybe I didn't hear this kind of story specifically, but those cartels, they're savages, right? They're awful. They do scary things. Okay, so the modern cartels they do everything. They the story I like, there is a video that they show to the Israelis that come to the favela, because they have a very it's such a weird story, but I think in Rio de Janeiro, so I think it's there, I might be mistaken, but the at least I don't know if he's still alive, it's like they die like fast, but like one of the main favela gangs, like the favela people, like they have like special relationship with Israelis. I don't know the exact story, but like basically, so what they do is they allow Israelis to go on a tour and they tell them like the stories of what's really going on inside the favelas. They just decided that like they allow Israelis anyways. It's like there is a group there that is like, okay, we take those, because you cannot enter unless like you get entered, and for some reason they decided to allow Israelis to, and they show them the stories. And the video, one of the videos they show is how they like allowed dogs, they like put jerky in a very, very strategic, very, very like, between the legs. And then they unleash dogs to eat this area. So that was before AI. So I don't think that video was faked. Yeah, David, if that favela, I mean, it's like you go and check. It's not like the Israelis are like there like for a second and go. They just, for some reason, they like give them tours. There are also like people in Cusco like that they just work with Israelis. And somebody once asked why. They said like, I don't know, when you start working with Israelis, you just continue. So, I mean, this guy specifically, according to what, this is before AI, okay? This is before AI, that video. So anyway, like the official, like it sounds like he kind of deserved it. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like it wasn't convincing that this guy would deserve it a little bit, but a little bit, a lot, But just the cartels, just they're dangerous people.
Intelligence. I don't even know how I feel about that. And they are responsible for the ISIS detainees. Damascus must assume full responsibility for supervising and managing the ISIS detainees in camps within areas under its control. That within itself is freaking mind-numbing, because some of Jelani's fighters themselves can be seen wearing freaking ISIS flags in numerous videos and in numerous freaking like pictures, everything floating around online, even to the point when they were down in the south in Al Suwaida earlier this year murdering Druze. You had some of Jelani's men wearing freaking ISIS patches. So likely what's going to happen is Jelani's going to take those men, he's going to convert them, they're going to have their own caliphate, and he's just going to convince them to go under it. But what about topic number one that we ended up bringing up, which was signing and normalizing the Abraham Accords? He's got to get on board with the Abraham Accords. Well, that evening, Jelani went on Fox News. And what do you think he said when he was questioned about the Abraham Accords? Fox McCloud says, I don't know how this is possible. As big as a degenerate rape Muhammad was, he didn't have any children.
President, the White House has said that President Trump would like Syria to join the Abraham Accords. The foundational.
He did have children, from what I know. They just didn't survive. So, yeah. And funnily enough, it's like none of, from what I remember reading, none of his children that survived, basically, at all, from all the wives that he got after the first wife that he had. So the first wife that he had, the one that was significantly older, his sugar mama, those kids survived. But later on, like every person that claimed to be descendant of Muhammad, I think, was executed at some point. So basically, okay, you can just continue watching. Obviously, it's just manipulating. He wants the Golan Heights. He wants to execute everybody, but nothing good. And I really recommend watching, because he talks about like things that, you know what, I just skip ahead randomly just to hear a little bit of something that he says, that you would guys have like a little bit of a taste. I just choose random.
Who didn't we do the same thing to? Yep, we abandoned the Kurds because they had nothing to offer us. Sad. Bingo. And they're also like minority over inside of Iran. They're minority over inside of Iraq. People that Saddam Hussein was gassing, people that ISIS went after and was murdering. It's freaking sad. And we have used them time and time again and continue to ignore them. So to pretend like there's nobody and no better option or anything that we can get behind to bring some sort of peace over into the Middle East, it's absolutely garbage. Let the Islamic jihadists murder each other. I really don't care. Street Beat Live says that Peshmerga need our help. That's the Kurds, for those of you that don't know. It is freaking sad that our country is rolling over on these people, and to open it up and say that Damascus isn't exactly safe when we ended up having Joe Kent over there just the other day, dude, kiss off. It's absolutely freaking appalling. You could have conducted, like we could have conducted diplomacy with Syria without inviting Jelani into the freaking White House. It is so stupid. And just because I sit here and I crap on Trump for bringing a terrorist into the White House doesn't mean that I'm against every single policy and every single decision. It doesn't mean that I'm an anti-Trumper. No, it means that Trump did something freaking retarded. And when our elected officials do something retarded, it is our job as Americans to say that they're acting stupid. And it's disgusting. A man that was responsible for recruiting suicide bombers who killed American troops. I don't give a shit if he's giving us intel on ISIS. He's doing it for his own benefit. Why do you think he gave us intel on ISIS? Do you think he did it because he doesn't want to deal with it? No, look at where he's at today. He's doing it for his own benefit. He's not doing it for the people. And he's not some freaking like reformed, like, you know, extremist. He's still murdering people. He's still allowing all that crap to take place. And my question is, who is on Trump's cabinet that's advising him on this stuff, thinking it's going to be a really good idea? This is going to turn out great. Put Jelani in power. Holy freaking crap. Whew. All right, I'm done. I'm done ranting about Jelani. I'm done ranting about Syria. Instead, I'm going to rant about South Africa. Remember how South Africa ended up bringing...
Yeah, anyway, they they didn't allow Palestinians to land. So it's very interesting. And then I just remembered some things. I was about to wrap up, and then I was like, you know, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And that something is, of course, Iran. I forgot Iran. Iran. It looks like they're getting ready for a battle in Iran, which I forgot to report on almost. So let's go. There are a couple of. I don't see that there is much new here, but yeah, Iran has no water, and other things that here. Actually, that reminds me. Trump has literally undermined and set back Indo-U.S. relations by like 20 years. Speaking of Indo-U.S. relations, there is an India here, so it's just things. Okay, let me share. Let me show you. Okay, so breaking new evidence of defection in occupied Iran, the Islamic Republic collapsing from the inside. 2 Iranians dressed in military uniform went into Tehran metro station and flew the pre-Islamic lion and sun flag in Iran and sang "Long Live the King." Well, what's happening? No. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Welcome to Tehran. You'll love it if you enjoy pollution, blackouts, and soon complete lack of water. That's the best tourism advertisement ever. If you love pollution, blackouts, and no water, well, you can come visit. Curious how all the regime whitewasher accounts on this platform refuse to talk about the fact that 60 million people are at risk of evacuating, let alone who is to blame. Is that ethnic cleansing? Like, is that ethnic cleansing in Tehran? I'm not talking about the Afghans, of course, that they had kicked out of Iran, millions of them. And I'm just asking, like, if Tehran having to evacuate, is that ethnic cleansing? Is that under the same umbrella? I'm just wondering, asking questions. I'm just asking. You know, I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking questions. Anyway, pack your things, boys. We're going in. Iranian president of Uzbekistan. Islamic regime would collapse if Khamenei harmed. It's like they're preparing the ground. The president is preparing the ground. It's like the moment this old fag kicks the bucket, I'm out. We're out. I'm out. Yeah. So, by the way, this is a look at that beauty. It was an honor to take a part in an important debate in the European Parliament, led by how it's pronounced, Gadi, against Turkey's illegal occupation of the northern Cyprus and its ongoing aggression in the Aegean Sea. Israel is working to strengthen the Mediterranean alliance against the jihadist and imperial ambitions of the dictator from Ankara. What a beautiful video. I mean, it's random, but let's watch it.
The doctrine of Erdogan is extremely dangerous. It is extremely dangerous for the state of Israel. And we see Erdogan's Turkey as the new Iran, nothing less, as the new Iran. It is very dangerous for Cyprus, and it is very dangerous for Greece. And all of a sudden, we are hearing that they have also a demand on the Aegean Sea. So they want also to undermine the sovereignty, not just of Cyprus, not just of Syria and Lebanon, also Greece. And I think that Erdogan's Turkey, maybe with a different leadership, it's a whole different story. But Erdogan's Turkey is a fanatic jihadist state, a dictatorship that is threatening Cyprus, that is threatening Greece, that is threatening Israel, that is threatening and responsible by its proxies to the massacre of minorities in Syria.
Yes, thank you. Here is a breaking Colonel Sajjad Azadeh from the Iranian army, Artesh, ground forces has publicly announced his defection from the Islamist regime in Iran, pledging alliance with Iran's Lion and Sun flag. He declares that great things are underway and that soon this regime of lies, deceit, and occupation will come to an end. This marks the latest in a growing wave of defection following the launch of the National Cooperation to Save Iran campaign by Iran's king in exile and national leader, His Majesty Reza Shah Pahlavi. The campaign aims to organize and coordinate. Listen. Finally, the Iranians had understood. So the whole 12 days, I've been trying to make the Iranians understand that literally they don't have a say, right? It doesn't matter what's gonna be the, like right now, the way they are, it's either they lose it all or do something to have a chance of surviving. So that's my message here. There's like, because I was talking to the Kurds are like, oh, we don't want a king. I was like, who cares? You might survive, you know? You literally have no, politics don't matter at this point. You just need to survive, it doesn't matter who rules. Just anything that would be like, give you a chance. Oh, I love that. Peter, where are you from? We have 100,000 lakes in my country. All fresh, yummy. Are you Canadian? Yes, I said bon. So, real Persian flag raised by soldier in Iranian. Oh, that's the same one. Yeah, the barbarian mullahs, whose regime spent 46 years desecrating ancient Persia and calling pre-Islamic Iran evil and oppressive, are now pretending to be nationalists, pretending to honor ancient heritage. It's so embarrassing. I can smell the taqiyya from continents away. Yeah. Amazing. What's up? Tehran, Israel. This is people who are interesting. She's wearing a headscarf and she's saying that. It's a dream of many of us to have direct flights from Tehran to Tel Aviv. I've tried to paint our imagination connecting the map of the two cities. The future is close, next year in Tehran. Wow. The Iranians are brewing. They're cooking. They're cooking something. Something is getting cooked. This is Baluchistan in Iran. An Iranian patron declares, from Zahedan to Anzali, I give my life to Pahlavi. Long live the Shah. This is Alex want to think. I don't know what Alex did. Alex needs to, I don't know why they, so annoying. Peter is Swedish. I see. Yeah, 100,000 is too little of a number for Canada, I guess. This is Adin reminding the world. Just to remember that this was the balanced power back then, and Judah was not known as a military and technological power, and yet it required the Roman Empire to recruit troops from Britain, help their expansionist campaign in Mesopotamia, and more than 60 years of relentless suppression of the rebellion. Look, like this is. So everybody's talking about let's bring down the Jews, and nobody talks about like whether the Jews are gonna be you see the Jews that were executed, like that were basically like went to the ovens like cattle, which is, I'm so sorry, but this was the sentiment in Israel for a long time, that they went like sheep to the slaughter. In Europe, it's like the yeah, the Roman didn't have nukes. True. Anyway, yeah, that was like a very like that was an experiment that kind of like there are shirts like that. You killed all the nice Jews. Now all that's left that are the Jews that are like okay. So when Judea fell, all the Jews that are like Israelis now, most of them died, and they became a minority among those who are like Christian Jews, you know, those who are like they give the other chick and stuff all the time. But then during the Holocaust, like all those kind of Jews died, and then they became the minority. So you know, it's not a fun life to have, honestly. I'd rather just people not try to kill us, but whatever, you know, it is what it is. You die one time. We die anyway, right? I might as well have honor. All right. India signs a 900 million deal with Israel. Not Pakistan, not Qatar. Think why? What does it have to do with India, Pakistan or Qatar? That's a weird question. I just brought it here because I thought it was interesting that India signed such a big deal with Israel. Just throwing it out there. It just happened. I don't remember pressing on anything. Anyway, that's where we're at. Break-in, that's another one. Iranian Air Force colonel calls for nationwide revolt. Colonel and Ibrahim Agahi Komazani of the Iranian Regular Army's Aviation Division appears alongside the Lion and Sun flag. Okay, I have an unrelated question because I just thought about it when I saw India. So you know Mamdani. So everybody's saying like his father is Muslim and his mother is a Hindu. So if there are any Hindus here, her last name was Ibrahim. What kind of a Hindu woman? Like, where, I don't understand, like, where did they bring the claim that she's Hindu? If her last name was Ibrahim, if her father's last name was Ibrahim, doesn't it like Muslim? Like everybody's saying like, yeah, his mother is Hindu. He's like, yeah, Mamdani Mira Nail. Yeah, but her family name is Ibrahim. Did she like? Is there like? Are people like? No, but like, I heard because I heard so many people say like, oh, her last name is Nail. She's Hindu, but no, it's not. Like when I checked, she comes from the family name of Ibrahim. She just changed it or something to Nail. Are you sure that was her name? Ibrahim is how the Arabs say. Is how the Arabs pronounce Abraham. Like why is everybody saying that she's Hindu? Like from at least this is what the Hebrews says that she because here's the thing, his mother was famous in Israel before Mamdani was elected. She was famous because she refused to participate in a award ceremony for movies in Israel because she said that she wants to be she believes that very soon I'll be able to visit Palestine. She said her comment was like, I'm not gonna go to Israel, but very soon I'll be able to go there. And because of that, it's like okay, they have information on her specifically, and it's like says that the family she came from was, unless I misread something, it says that it was Ibrahim. Doesn't it make, if it was Ibrahim, let's say it is Ibrahim, Doesn't it say right away that she is a Muslim? Like, is there anyone that could be Ibrahim that isn't a Muslim? That's my question to Hindus. Like if somebody tells you that their family name in India is Ibrahim, would it make sense to claim that they're Hindu? Like that they would say they're Hindu? That's the whole thing. That's the whole question. So yeah, if it's Ibrahim, then yes, she would be a Muslim. Okay, so that's my question. So at least that's what maybe I misread something, but it just like everything she does is so anti-Hindu, isn't it? It's weird to me that she's a Hindu. Yeah, she is a Hindu, people are saying. So why is she so anti-Hindu? Is it just, I don't know. Maybe I that's I don't know. There's sometimes you read things and like, okay, you guys are saying she's Hindu. Maybe I couldn't, I don't know. Maybe I didn't remember right. Yeah. Here's the thing. This is what it says in Wikipedia in Hebrew. It says that that her father's name is Amrit Ibrahim. That her father's name was Ibrahim. That's what it says in Hebrew. In Hebrew it says that her parents' name is something Ibrahim. And her mother's name is also something Ibrahim. That's the thing. I was like, unless it's like wrong, like unless the Hebrew Wikipedia is wrong, but it has this very interesting statement that it names her parents, and her parents' names is Ibrahim. Like the family name of her parents is Ibrahim, according to that. So where's the Ibrahim coming from? It's funny. So it says like that the Amrit Ibrahim, and Parveen Ibrahim, that's her mom. Like, where did they bring it out from then? Why does it say it in Hebrew? Weird. I don't know. It's weird. I was like, is it like, is Hebrew Wikipedia wrong? Maybe. Where's the Ibrahim coming from? It's weird. Somebody saying she's lying for her faith. She's part Pujam. I mean, she was born. It's trust me, I wish it was true. Okay, here's the thing. My friend married a Hindu. She married a Hindu, and he had to move to Israel. And ironically enough, she thought it would be hard to bring an Indian man to Israel. But she said that when she went to the Interior Ministry to tell them that she has a partner from India and she wants to bring him over, she said like that the reaction of the lady at the desk was like, "Oh, amazing. How beautiful. Yes, I'm going to help you. Of course. And they were very positive. I mean, they did roast them to check they're really together and everything like that. Like they went through the procedures, but she thought that the Israeli side would be like very oppositional to that idea. But she was like, I was so surprised the Israelis were super cool about it. in the way they the approach they had. Like they did all the procedure like properly, and I had to write, for example, that like I know that they're a couple, I know that they're together. Like I had to write, and like several friends like wrote. And they're like they have 2 kids now. They're beautiful. They're beautiful family, and and there was no opposition from the Israeli side, but there was a pretty. But here's the thing. That's the funny part. Here's where they had the problem. This is because you're gonna understand why I'm bringing up a story here. That story. You know why it took that long for him to move from India to Israel? It's because the documents he had to give, it was super hard to get them in India. He had to travel all over India. And not only that, he didn't even have a birth certificate. He wasn't registered in India because he was born in like the mountains in a village. So nobody registered his birth officially. So there is so he was like, he had to go and like get a birth certificate from like that was never registered when he was born. So when I said that, when I told that story, I said that because that family, if they're from an area and a low class family, what if nothing was registered? Maybe what if it wasn't registered? Like when she was born, like I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just asking, I'm just asking. I'm just wondering. Like she hates Hindus with passion, this woman, and Mamdani and everything. I'm just asking questions. Because like if my friend's husband didn't even have a birth certificate, I'm just asking questions, I don't know. I don't know, but like I know, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, but like I know, it's just too weird. It's too weird. Okay? You guys enjoying that segment? I think you do. Anyway, did I have a did I have a dream about it? I might have a dream about it. Could happen. An angel could come to me and say, like, this woman, she's not what she claims she is. And I would believe it. All right, so back to Iran, and let's pray for Iran to get themselves out of the mud. I mean, not out of the mud. Mud requires water. Out of the sand. All right, so here's the Iranian Air Force calling for nationwide revolt. I invite the people of Iran to, on Sunday, November 16th, with the flag of the Lion and Sun, initiate a million-strong march for the transition from the Islamic Republic regime. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, Sheikh, yeah, Mama, you see proof? Yes, I give you proof. Thank you for your support. Yeah, look at him. Doesn't he look evil? Khamenei. Look how evil he looks like. It's, when they have those beards and like traditional garb, like they can hide their roof. Look how evil. He looks like a Disney villain. This guy looks like Judge Frollo. Frollo? It's like, this is one of like income evil. This is Khamenei. Look at him. Look how evil he looks. Scary. Look at him. He looks like literally he could be, he's like a Disney villain, the way he looks. And he is a villain, but worse than anything that Disney could ever put in a movie. Right? Look at it. Look how scary this guy is. Ugh. A nightmare. Who's like, just look at him. I'm sorry. I don't want to be like judging people by the way they look. But this guy looks evil. Right. So what else? Okay, I think we can wrap up now. Okay, that's it. It's time to go to sleep. I have to wake up in a reasonable hour to drive to Jerusalem. So I'm gonna spend my weekend there. And thank you, Investory, for reminding everybody to like, to comment, to share, to subscribe. I hope you all watched my Netherlands video. Because, by the way, everything that is in the Netherlands video is very much true for America as well. And especially your people who are New Yorkers. All right? So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and like the Netherlands one. And a like, comment, subscribe. Yes, buy me coffee. I cannot do what I do without without getting coffee. And also, I just want to remind you guys that I'm working a lot behind the scenes as well to make sure that we can reverse the brain damage that was done to Americans and other people around the world. And it's very necessary, but I cannot do it unless I eat. Yes, thank you. Good night.